Hi everybody, and welcome to the second part on solving linear inequalities. If you have not watched the first part, I would recommend you watching that first. If you have, then try pausing the video right now and attempting these questions before we go through them together. Okay, so we would like to do these questions together. So for an inequality, it's very similar to an equation where we would like to get x by itself. So let's have a look at the first one. In this video, we'll have a look when x's coefficient is negative. So here we have a negative. So it can be a -1, a -2, whatever the case is. So let us start. We start by taking over the other elements that are not attached to the x, so the 3. And when we take it over, the sign changes. So that becomes 2 minus 3. So we have minus x is greater or equal to -1. So we would like to get x by itself. So we're going to divide both sides by -1. So if we divide both sides by -1, the ones cancel out, and that's in the negative, and the -1 cancel out the negative. And what happens that's very important is whenever you divide by a negative, we have to change the direction of the inequality. And -1 divided by 1 is then +1. So when you divide by a negative, this is very important, change the direction of the inequality. Okay, that is very important, and that's one of the big differences between an inequality and an equation is now when we're dividing by a negative, we also have to swap the direction. So let's have a look at the next one. 3x plus 1 is less than 4x minus 10. So first of all, we would like to get the x's on one side and the numbers on one side. So this is on that side, on the right side. So I'm going to take this over. Okay, and this 10 I'm going to leave over, this -10, and the 1 I'm going to take over. So what I then get is 3x, the 3x stays the same, minus 4x, when I take it over, its sign changes, -10, the -10 stays negative, and the 1 becomes a -1, its sign changes when I take it over. So 3x minus x, 4x is minus x, and 10 minus 1 is -11. Again, we're going to divide both sides by a -1 to get the x by itself, and then we're going to get x, and then the inequality's direction will change because we divided by a negative, is greater than 11. Let's have a look at another example. -2x plus 5 is less than x plus 4. So again, let us take the x's to one side and the numbers to the other side. So this -2x, I'm going to leave it on this side, and this x, I'm going to take it over, it becomes -x. Then on the other side, the 4 stays, and the 5 that I'm taking over, its sign will change. So this will be -3x is less than -1, 4 minus 5. And now we're going to divide both sides by -3 to get rid of that coefficient over there. And then what we would have is x. But now because we divided by a negative, we have to change the sign of the inequality, and -1 divided by -3 is +1/3. So we'll do a few more examples just so that you can make sure you understand this concept. So we have here x plus 7 is greater than 3x minus 11. So we're going to get the x's on one side. This x, I'm going to take it, leave, and the 3x I'm going to take over. So it's going to become -3x. The 11 I'm going to leave here, and then the 7 I'm going to take it over. It's going to become -7. So this here is -2x is greater than -11 minus 7 is -18. And I'm going to divide both sides by -2. And then I've got x. We have to swap the direction, is then less than -18 divided by -2 is +9. I just wanted to show you that this is not the only way to do it. So I've been taking So I've been leaving the x's on this side and taking the ones over there over. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the x's to the right-hand side. So I've got x plus 7 is greater than 3x minus 11. So the same question, but this time I'm keeping the x's on this side. So I'll move that one over, and I'm going to keep the numbers on this side. So I'll move this over. So what happens here is then I've got 7 plus 11. So when I take the 11, it becomes is greater than 3x minus x. When I take that x over, it changes. So this is 18 is greater than 2x, and dividing both sides by 2. And this time I divided by a positive 2, so I don't have to change the direction, and I get that 9 is greater than x. Can you see this is actually the same answer? X is less than 9 is the same that 9 is greater than x. So if you would like to do it that way and you feel more comfortable, there's no problem. Let us look at number 5. So we have 8 minus 2x is less than or equal to 4 plus x. So then we have 8. I'm going to take this x over. So I have minus 2x minus x. And then this 4, I'm leaving it, and I'm going to take the 8 over, and it becomes negative 8. So negative 2 minus x is negative 3x. And 4 minus 8 is negative 4. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 3. And then the negative 3's cancel out, and I have x. And then what's important is I'm going to have to swap the sign around because I divided by a negative. And 4 divided by 3 negatives give us a positive 4 divided by 3, which you can convert into a mixed number. For the last one, we have 3 times x minus 1 is greater than 4x plus 7. So this one here, first we're going to have to distribute. So let's distribute that x to each of the elements inside the bracket. So this here, 3 times x is 3x, 3 times negative 1 is negative 3, 4 times x is 4x, 4 times 7 is 28. Now we would like to group our x's on one side. So let us do that. So I'm going to leave this x here, and I'm going to take the 4x over. So this here becomes 3x minus 4x. Change the sign when we take it over. And then this 28, and when I take over the 3, its sign will change to plus 3. This is minus x is greater than 31. And then we divide both sides by negative 1. And when we do that, our x becomes positive, but our direction of our inequality changes. So that is it for this video. Please take note that the main point to take away from this video is in an inequality, when we are dividing by a negative, the direction of the inequality changes. If you have understood this video, please move on to the next one. If it is still a bit murky, have a look at the previous one again.